They didn't know who would answer until the Deathworlders arrived. Space was a lonely place, but for humans, it had always been a place of challenge, adventure, and hope. "Captain, you should see this," said Lieutenant Mara Jalen, pointing at the glowing blip on the navigation screen. The signal was faint, irregular, but unmistakable, a distress call. Aaron leaned closer, squinting. "From where?" Mara tapped the coordinates. "Near Sector 9B, the planet is labeled Xylon Prime, classified as a death world. No life support systems last more than a few days there." Aaron's eyes narrowed. "Death world's not exactly the kind of place you go sightseeing." Mara smiled faintly, though unease lingered in her eyes. "Apparently someone or something is trying to survive there." Aaron rubbed his jaw. He had heard the stories of Xylon Prime. The planet was notorious across the galaxy. Its surface was a harsh, toxic wasteland. Acidic rains, violent storms, predators large enough to crush armored vehicles. Even the most advanced exploration drones had failed. Most civilizations had marked it as forbidden. "Who else has responded?" Aaron asked. "No one," Mara said. "Officially, the Galactic Council is debating whether the signal is real or just interference, but it's been repeating for over 6 hours." Aaron leaned back, thinking. Humans had always been called reckless, adaptable, and surprisingly persistent. And yet, missions like this were what defined them. Every other species avoided Xylon Prime, and yet here they were, humans, considering stepping into the very danger others fled from. "Plot a course," he said finally. "We're answering the call." Mara's eyebrows shot up. "You're serious?" Aaron smiled faintly. "Since when do we ever turn away from a challenge?" The bridge crew moved quickly. Engines roared as the Aurora shifted course. Alerts flashed, maps recalculated, and every sensor on the ship focused on the same point, Xylon Prime. As the crew prepared, Aaron took a moment to watch them. Lieutenant Mara Jalen, calm under pressure. Engineer Dax Wren, already running diagnostics on the landing pods. Communications Officer Lyra Kesh, scanning frequencies for any clues about the source of the signal. Each of them was human, and each had something that no AI or alien tech could replicate: courage, intuition, and the stubborn will to survive. Hours passed as the Aurora jumped through hyperspace. Outside, the blackness of space stretched endlessly. The crew ate little, spoke less, and prepared for what awaited. The legend of Deathworlds was not something they had taken lightly. Every training simulation, every briefing, reminded them that Xylon Prime was merciless. Few had ever set foot on its surface and returned. As they approached the planet, the first signs appeared. The once distant sphere now dominated the viewport. Green and brown clouds swirled across its surface, but the sensors detected something more alarming: unstable magnetic fields, intense radiation bursts, and a strange, unnatural energy signature. "Is it alive?" whispered Lyra almost to herself. "Planets don't get alive," Dax muttered, but even he didn't sound convinced. "Some Deathworlds behave as if they are," Mara said quietly, "almost like the planet fights anyone who comes near." Aaron's gaze stayed on the swirling storm patterns. "Good, then it will meet humans." The descent began. Landing on Xylon Prime was not like docking at a friendly spaceport. The atmosphere was thick, charged, and corrosive. Protective shields glimmered as the Aurora pierced the upper layers, sensors screaming in protest. The crew worked like a single organism, each knowing their role perfectly. Below them, the surface was a chaotic mess: jagged mountains, rivers of molten rock, and forests of twisted alien plants. Shadows moved in the distance, predators, or perhaps just illusions created by the planet's strange environment. "Adjust for storm cluster ahead," Aaron ordered. "Lower shields slightly to reduce pressure stress. Dax, how are the landing pods holding?" "Pods are stable, but the turbulence will get worse as we approach the surface," Dax replied. "This planet does not want visitors." "Then it's lucky it chose us," Aaron said. Hours passed as they navigated the atmosphere. The storm winds buffeted the Aurora, shaking it violently, but the ship held. Finally, they found a clearing, an area that looked less deadly, at least on the surface. The distress signal was coming from there. As they descended, the source became visible: a crashed ship, older than anything in the Council's records. Its hull was scorched, twisted, and pitted, but energy readings showed life inside. Not much, but enough to make the humans quicken their pace. "Prepare landing teams," Aaron said. "We don't know what's waiting for us down there." The landing pods detached from the Aurora, gliding through the storm toward the wreck. The crew inside held their breath as lightning crackled across the sky. The wind roared in their helmets, carrying strange scents, acid, metal, and something organic. They landed. The surface was more brutal up close. Jagged rocks tore through the protective boots, plants with razor-like leaves brushed against their armor. But still the humans moved forward. Step by step they approached the wreck. Inside, the scene was grim. The ship's interior was torn apart, systems offline, but there were signs of struggle. Small footprints, smudges on the walls, signs that someone had survived it for now. "Hello," Aaron called softly. "If anyone's alive, we're here to help." Silence. Then a faint noise, a cough, weak but deliberate. Myra rushed forward, scanning with her portable scanner. Life signs confirmed what they hoped. A single alien, humanoid but frail, hiding in a corner. Its eyes were wide, filled with fear and relief simultaneously. "We found you," Mara said gently. "You're safe now. We're humans. We're here to help." The alien hesitated, then nodded weakly. Its voice was barely audible, but the words were clear. "Thank you." Aaron looked at his crew. No one spoke. No one needed to. The humans had done what few others could even consider, answered a distress signal on a death world, stepped where technology feared to tread, and faced danger head-on. But this was only the beginning. As the alien story unfolded, the humans would learn that Xylon Prime was more than a harsh environment. It was a living test, designed to challenge, to punish, and perhaps to see who was worthy of survival. And humans, as they always did, were about to prove that no test was too extreme. The alien, small and fragile, clung to the edge of the wreck, trembling with each movement. Its skin shimmered faintly in the dim light, showing patterns that seemed to shift as it breathed. It looked at the humans with wide, wary eyes, as if unsure whether they were friend or foe. Aaron knelt slowly, keeping his hands visible. "You're safe now," he said gently. "We're here to help. Can you stand?" The alien nodded weakly, then leaned on Mara for support. Step by step, they led it outside. The storm above raged, lightning flashing across the alien sky, but somehow the humans seemed at home in the chaos. Their armor and training gave them a calmness that others could not manage. As soon as they were clear of the wreck, Dax began scanning the area. "Planet readings are extreme," he said through the comms. "Radiation spikes, magnetic interference, even the flora is partially sentient. Xylon Prime, it's actively hostile." Mara looked at the alien. "Do you know this planet?" she asked. The alien shook its head slowly. Its voice was barely a whisper, but with the help of Lyra's translator device, it became clear. It was part of a small colony that had been stranded on the planet decades ago. Others had tried to reach them, but none survived. "They came," the alien said softly. They took them all, machines, explorers, no one lives here long." Aaron frowned. "Machines," the alien nodded. "They come from the sky, they are not alive, but they hunt." "They leave nothing." Dax looked uneasy. "We're not robots, we're humans." The alien's gaze sharpened. "Humans?" It seemed to understand something in that word, though the nuance was lost in translation. Aaron stood. "We need to get you somewhere safe first. Can you walk?" The alien tried, stumbling slightly, but Mara caught it. Step by step, they moved toward the clearing. The ground was rough, covered in jagged rocks and thorny plants. Every movement required careful attention. One wrong step and a hidden predator could strike. As they walked, the alien explained more. The colony had once been a research team sent to study Xylon Prime. The planet's danger was underestimated, or perhaps intentionally ignored. Their communication equipment failed, and one by one, their fellow explorers disappeared. Now only this one remained, hiding wherever possible, surviving on whatever scraps the Deathworld allowed. "The planet," the alien whispered. "It tests us, it changes, it watches." Aaron frowned. "Watches how?" The alien's eyes darted to the dark trees at the edge of the clearing. "Sometimes the storms speak. Sometimes the trees move when no wind blows. Sometimes the ground itself shifts." Mara looked at the horizon. Lightning flashed again, revealing strange silhouettes moving among the rocks. Shadows or something alive? She could not tell, but humans had faced harsh worlds before. They had adapted. They would survive. The clearing was not large, but it offered some shelter. They set up temporary shields and tents, powered by portable generators from the Aurora. It was crude, but it would keep them alive for at least a few hours. Dax began examining the wreck more closely. "This ship is ancient," he said, shaking his head. "Nothing like it in the galactic records. Whoever sent it here, they knew what they were doing, or they underestimated this planet like everyone else." The alien wandered among the wreckage, touching pieces gently. They were explorers, it said softly. Curious, brave, foolish. Lyra activated her communications scanner. Captain, I'm getting something unusual. The distress signal isn't just a single source, it's layered, multiple frequencies. Someone or something is still trying to communicate, but the patterns, they don't match known languages. Aaron stepped closer. Could it be automated? Maybe, Lyra said. Or maybe it's the planet itself. Some life form sends signals through the air. Could be instinctive, could be something else. Mara knelt beside the alien. Can you tell us where the rest of your people might be? The alien hesitated, looking down. Some under the ground, caverns, safe but not forever. The planet hunts above, below only shadows. Aaron nodded. Then that's where we start. We find them, we bring them out, we survive Xylon Prime. Night fell quickly. The sky was filled with swirling green and brown clouds, punctuated by bursts of lightning. The storm above roared like an angry beast. Yet within the temporary shelter, humans prepared. They checked their weapons, their scanners, and their supplies. Everything had to be ready. Every mistake could be fatal. Sleep was impossible for most. Mara stayed by the alien, speaking softly, trying to learn as much as possible. Dax maintained the generators, making minor repairs, ensuring power would not fail. Lyra monitored the communications, trying to decode the layered signals that the alien could not fully understand. Aaron stood outside, watching the storm. The wind tore at his armor, lightning striking nearby rocks. His mind worked constantly. Humans were called reckless, yes, but they were also adaptable. Where others failed, humans survived because they observed, learned, and acted. Xylon Prime would test them, and they would pass. As dawn approached, the storm subsided slightly. The clearing was littered with debris, and strange tracks led toward the forest. Large, clawed footprints, some fresh, some older, predators, possibly sentient, possibly both. Aaron signaled the team. Time to move, we go in small groups, stay close, watch everything. The alien tells us the caverns are our best chance. The journey to the caverns was treacherous. The ground shifted unpredictably, vines and plants seemed to reach out to snag them, and strange sounds echoed across the rocks. Some were growls, some were just wind, but the humans moved with purpose, their senses sharp. At one point, Mara spotted movement in a nearby cliff. A predator, she raised her weapon, but Aaron waved her down. They watched silently. Shadows moved, then disappeared. Whatever it was aware of them, but the humans were aware too. Hours passed. They navigated natural tunnels, climbed jagged cliffs, and crossed molten streams with improvised bridges. The alien led them with confidence born from necessity, guiding them to places unknown even to its kind. Finally, they reached a cavern entrance hidden by dense vegetation. The alien paused, then entered. Darkness swallowed them, but the humans followed. Inside, the temperature dropped and the air felt heavier. Strange crystals glowed faintly along the walls, casting eerie reflections. Somewhere in the distance, soft noises echoed, other life weak and cautious. The humans paused at the first chamber. It was larger than expected, carved naturally but expanded by hands long gone. In the center were remnants of shelters, old supplies, and skeletal remains. Evidence of the colony's struggle, the alien flinched at the sight. They didn't all make it, it whispered. Aaron placed a hand on the alien's shoulder. We'll find the survivors, the rest, we honor them by surviving. Mara activated her scanner. Captain, more life signs. Not many, but enough. They're deeper in the cave. The team pressed on. Every step was careful. Every corner was scanned. Shadows moved, some real, some illusions, but humans adapted using intuition, technology, and sheer will to survive. Finally, they reached the inner chamber. A small group of aliens huddled together, weak but alive. Relief spread through the humans, they had found them, yet the cave was not completely safe. Strange vibrations ran through the walls, and every instinct screamed that danger was near. Aaron stepped forward. We're here to help, follow us, we'll get you out. The aliens hesitated but trusted the humans. Step by step, they began the journey back toward the surface. The storm outside still raged, and the planet was far from done with them. But humans had a way of surviving the impossible. Xylon Prime would learn that soon enough. And as they moved, the first small spark of hope appeared in the darkness. The air inside the cavern was tense, thick with fear and anticipation. The rescued aliens clung together, weak and trembling, their small forms pressed against the cold stone walls. The humans moved cautiously, scanning every shadow, every crevice. Xylon Prime was alive in ways no one had expected. Its dangers were no longer distant, they were close, watching, waiting. "Keep moving," Aaron whispered to the group. "Stay close, one wrong step and we're done." Mara held the alien guide tightly as they navigated the jagged rocks. The path was narrow, forcing them to move in single file. Dax and Lyra flanked the group, weapons and scanners ready. Every instinct screamed that the planet was aware of their presence, that it was testing them. A low rumble shook the cavern. Dust fell from the ceiling and the rescued aliens whimpered. Aaron raised his hand. "Stop! Listen!" The rumble grew, followed by a sound like scraping stone. Something was moving in the darkness ahead, massive and deliberate. The humans froze, their eyes adjusting to the dim glow of the crystals lining the walls. Then they saw it, a predator unlike any they had trained for. Its body was long and muscular, covered in chitinous plates that shimmered in the light. Its eyes glowed faintly, reflecting intelligence as much as hunger. The humans had faced dangerous creatures before, but this was different. It did not attack immediately. It watched, calculated, learned. Aaron slowly drew his weapon. "No sudden moves, keep your distance." "Remember, humans adapt." The predator's growl echoed through the cavern. It lunged with terrifying speed, but Dax fired a stun net, catching it across the chest. The creature crashed against the cavern wall, then struggled, shaking the net. Aaron stepped forward, aiming carefully. "Not to kill unless necessary," he reminded the team. "We're here to survive, not start a war." The creature roared and leapt again, smashing part of the cavern wall. The aliens screamed and pressed against the humans. Aaron's heart raced, but his mind stayed sharp. Humans thrived in situations others deemed impossible. They observed, adapted, and overcame. Mara activated a small device from her pack. It emitted a high-pitched frequency that disoriented the creature. Its movement slowed, giving Dax a chance to fire another net. This time the predator collapsed, stunned but alive. "Good work," Aaron said. "Move past it quickly." The group pressed onward, deeper into the cavern. The rescued aliens followed, leaning on the humans for guidance and protection. The path narrowed further, leading them to a chamber filled with glowing crystals that pulsed like a heartbeat. Strange energy flowed through the walls, making their hair stand on end. Lyra scanned the crystals with her device. "These are not natural formations," she said. "They're absorbing energy almost like they're alive, and they're feeding on the life around them. This planet is a predator itself." Aaron's eyes narrowed. "Then we need to be smarter than the planet." As they moved through the chamber, the ground shook violently. Rocks tumbled from the ceiling, narrowly missing Dax. The humans instinctively shielded the rescued aliens. The planet was not just dangerous, it was actively trying to stop them. "Rocks are falling from above," Mara shouted. "We need to move faster." They ran, dodging debris and leaping over fissures that opened suddenly. The crystal walls pulsed with light, and strange whispers seemed to echo through the air. It was as if the planet itself was communicating, warning them, challenging them. Finally, they reached a narrower tunnel that led upward. The air felt warmer here, less heavy. It was a sign that they were nearing the surface. The rescued aliens moved more confidently, inspired by the humans' courage and determination. But Xylon Prime was not done testing them. A sudden tremor threw them off balance. The walls shook violently, and a section of the tunnel collapsed behind them. Rocks blocked the path they had just taken, cutting off any chance of retreat. Aaron assessed the situation quickly. "No turning back, forward only, keep your heads down and watch every step." They continued upward, their movements synchronized, every human instinct on high alert. The planet seemed to resist their progress, but the humans refused to give in. Adaptation and persistence were their greatest strengths. In the chamber ahead, they found another survivor, an older alien, battered and pale, hiding behind a pile of debris. Relief spread through the humans and the rescued group. But before they could speak, the predator from earlier reappeared, freed from the net. It had been waiting, watching their progress. Aaron drew his weapon again. "Hold your positions, don't panic." The predator circled them, muscles coiled, eyes locked on the humans. It lunged faster than before. Mara fired another high-frequency pulse, causing it to stumble. Dax threw a second net, which caught it partially, slowing its movement. Aaron saw an opening. He signaled Mara and Dax. "Work together, we can't fight it head-on forever." Humans think differently, use the environment. Mara and Dax moved strategically, using loose rocks and stalagmites to block the predator's path. It roared in frustration, striking the rocks and snapping some in half. But the humans adapted quickly, creating a path forward while keeping the predator distracted. Finally, Aaron led the rescued aliens through a narrow passage the creature could not fit through. One by one, they slipped past, emerging into a small open cavern with a weak light filtering from above. The predator's frustration echoed behind them, but the humans had gained the upper hand. They rested briefly, catching their breath. The rescued aliens looked at them with awe and gratitude. "You humans," one whispered, "you are not like the others, you survive where others fail." Aaron nodded, but he knew the journey was far from over. "We're not done yet. Xylon Prime has more tests for us, but we adapt. We survive, that's what humans do." The group continued, moving upward toward the surface. The cavern walls became less hostile, and signs of life, though strange and alien, were visible above. Small plants with glowing leaves, creatures that moved like shadows, and strange crystals embedded in the rocks reminded them that this world was alive and aware. Suddenly, a low, rumbling growl echoed through the cavern. The humans froze. The rescued aliens pressed closer, trembling. The sound was different from the predator. They could feel its intelligence, its intent. This was the planet itself, testing them in ways no human had faced before. Aaron's mind worked quickly. "We're not afraid. Humans think differently. Observe, adapt, overcome. Follow my lead." They moved carefully, using hand signals and whispered commands. Every step was deliberate. They dodged collapsing rocks, avoided predatory creatures, and navigated strange energy fields that pulsed through the cavern floor. Hours passed, but finally they emerged from the underground into a narrow canyon. The sky above was partially clear, the storm reduced to distant flashes of lightning. The surface of Xylon Prime stretched out before them, wild, dangerous, and alive, but the humans had survived the planet's first real challenge. The rescued aliens looked at them with newfound respect. "You saved us," one said softly. "We thought no one could survive here." Aaron looked at his crew. They were exhausted, bruised, but unbroken. "Humans survive," he said simply, "and will keep surviving. No planet, no storm, no predator can stop us if we stay smart and work together." As they moved toward a safer area to rest, Mara glanced at the horizon. Strange shapes moved in the distance, large, shadowy forms that could have been predators or perhaps something more intelligent. But humans had faced impossible odds before. They would face them again. Xylon Prime had awakened its threats, but the humans were ready. They had survived the first test of the Deathworld, and they would adapt to whatever came next. For the first time, the rescued aliens smiled. Hope, fragile but real, had returned. And the humans pressed on, knowing that no challenge, no matter how deadly, could break their will. They had faced the Deathworld, and they had won for now. The narrow canyon stretched out ahead of them, bathed in dim light from the distant storm clouds. The humans and the rescued aliens moved cautiously, aware that Xylon Prime was far from done with them. Every step carried the risk of hidden predators, shifting terrain, or unstable energy fields that pulsed like veins in the rock. Aaron led the group with steady resolve. His mind worked constantly, analyzing the terrain, predicting threats, and planning multiple escape routes. Behind him, Mara supported the alien guide, while Dax and Lyra scanned for hazards and kept the group supplied. Each member of the team knew their role perfectly, and their coordination was the result of years of experience and training. The rescued aliens followed closely, their steps uncertain but guided by human determination. For them, every moment with the humans was a lesson in courage and adaptability. They had never seen beings move with such calm precision in a place designed to kill. Suddenly, the ground trembled. The canyon walls groaned as if the planet itself were warning them to turn back. Rocks fell from above, forcing the group to dive for cover. One of the rescued aliens cried out, and Myra rushed to shield it from the debris. "Stay calm," Aaron shouted. "Move fast but carefully, watch the ceiling." They pressed on, leaping over fissures that opened beneath their feet and sliding past jagged rocks. The canyon twisted and narrowed, funneling them into a hidden gorge. The air here was thick with a strange electric tension. Lyra's scanners flickered, detecting unusual energy readings emanating from the canyon walls. "This is more than just a storm or predators," she said. "The planet itself, it's manipulating the environment, it's testing us." Aaron nodded. "Then we meet the test head-on. Humans survive by thinking differently. We adapt where others fail. Stay sharp." The first real challenge came quickly. As they rounded a bend, they found themselves facing a massive chasm. Across it, the canyon continued, but the gap was too wide to jump. Below, molten rock churned, glowing red and orange in the dim light. The humans paused, assessing the situation. Dax knelt, examining the edges. "We could use the natural rock formations as stepping points," he said. "Or we could create a bridge with debris from the canyon walls." Aaron considered both options. "We don't have time for trial and error. We adapt quickly. Mara, scout ahead. Find a safe path." Mara moved with quiet precision, stepping carefully along unstable rocks. She measured distances, tested surfaces, and finally found a narrow ledge that could support the group if they moved one at a time. "Here," she called back. "Single file, step carefully. Watch your balance." The group began crossing. The rescued aliens trembled, unsure of their footing, but the humans guided them, offering steady hands and reassuring words. Every step was tense, but they made it across without incident. The molten rock below reminded them of the planet's constant danger. Once across, they paused briefly in a small alcove. The rescued aliens huddled together, whispering their gratitude. "You, humans, are strong," one said softly. "We thought no one could survive here." Aaron shook his head. "Strength alone doesn't keep us alive. Observation, planning, and teamwork do. That's what makes humans different." They moved on, deeper into the canyon. Strange plants with glowing leaves lined the walls, their roots twisting into the rock. Some seemed harmless, but others reacted to movement, snapping like traps. The humans adapted instantly, using their tools to test the environment before stepping forward. Hours passed, and the canyon opened into a wider area. Here the air was warmer, and the faint light of the distant sky filtered down through cracks in the rock. But danger was still present. Large, shadowy figures moved among the rocks, predators waiting for any mistake. Aaron signaled the group to stop. "We move strategically now. Watch the shadows, stay alert, and keep the rescued aliens in the middle. We protect them at all costs." The humans pressed forward cautiously. Mara and Dax took the lead, scanning for hazards, while Lyra monitored the energy fields. Every step was deliberate, and every instinct was focused. Xylon Prime was relentless, but humans were relentless too. Suddenly, one of the rescued aliens stumbled, triggering a rock slide. Rocks crashed down, blocking part of the path and separating the group. The predators stirred, attracted by the noise. "Move," Aaron shouted. "Use the debris for cover." The humans reacted instantly. They shielded the aliens, cleared the rocks when possible, and created temporary barricades with debris. Dax rigged a small explosion to shift larger rocks and open a safe path. Mara guided the aliens through, step by step, her calm presence reassuring them. As they advanced, the canyon walls began to pulse with a strange green light. The energy readings intensified, and the humans realized this was more than natural phenomena. The planet itself was responding to their presence. Aaron took a deep breath. "This is the real test. Stay focused. Observe, adapt, overcome. That's what humans do." The humans and rescued aliens pressed on, moving through the glowing canyon with caution. The shadows shifted, some taking forms that resembled creatures they had faced before, others moving in ways that defied explanation. But the humans adapted quickly, using their wits, tools, and experience to navigate the dangers. At one point, a massive predator lunged from the shadows. Its speed and size were unlike anything they had faced. Mara fired a high-frequency pulse, disorienting it. Dax threw a net, slowing it down. Aaron took careful aim and guided it away from the rescued aliens, forcing it into a side tunnel where it became trapped. The group moved forward, adrenaline surging. The rescued aliens whispered their amazement. "You humans think differently," one said. "You survive where others would perish." Aaron nodded. "Observation, adaptation, and teamwork. That's why humans endure. That's why we survive." Finally, the canyon opened into a wide plateau. The storm above had lessened, and the distant sky was visible. Strange plants grew here, but they were not immediately hostile. The humans set up a temporary camp, using shields and tents from the aurora. The rescued aliens rested, regaining some strength. As they prepared to move again, Lyra's scanners detected something unusual, a structure partially buried in the plateau. It appeared to be of alien origin, ancient, but still functional in some way. "Could this be where the rest of the colony is?" Mara asked. Aaron examined the readings. Possibly, or it could be a trap. Either way, we investigate. Humans face danger and adapt. That's what sets us apart. The humans moved cautiously toward the structure, scanning for traps and predators. The rescued aliens followed, trusting the humans completely. Step by step, they approached the entrance. Inside, they found remnants of the colony's research. Equipment, notes, and shelters indicated the survivors had been trying to signal for help for years. The humans marveled at the ingenuity of the stranded aliens, while the aliens themselves seemed both humbled and relieved to see new hope. But danger was not over. Strange energy pulses ran through the walls, and the structure itself seemed unstable. The humans worked quickly, using tools and quick thinking to stabilize sections and create safe passage. They adapted to every new challenge, proving that even in the deadliest environments, human ingenuity could prevail. Hours later, the group reached a central chamber. Here, a small group of aliens huddled together, weak but alive. Relief and gratitude filled the air. The humans had completed the first major rescue of the Deathworld, but Aaron knew there were more tests ahead. "We've done well," he said, "but the planet isn't finished. Xylon Prime will continue to challenge us. We adapt, we survive, and we protect those who cannot defend themselves. That's what humans do." The rescued aliens looked at them with admiration. "You humans are different," one whispered. "We owe our lives to you," Aaron nodded. "We're not heroes, we're humans. We survive where others cannot, and will keep surviving, together." As the sun began to rise above the distant horizon, casting a weak light across the plateau, the humans prepared for the next stage of their journey. The planet's true dangers were still ahead, but they had proven one undeniable truth. Humans were unstoppable when faced with the impossible. And as they moved forward, the rescued aliens followed, hope rekindled, knowing that the humans would lead them through Xylon Prime's trials. The plateau stretched before the humans and their rescued companions, bathed in the weak light of Xylon Prime's distant sun. The storm had calmed, but the air still carried an electric tension, as if the planet itself were watching them, testing their every move. Aaron surveyed the terrain. This was the final stretch, the place where the remaining survivors were rumored to be hiding, and where the planet's deadliest challenges awaited. "Everyone ready?" Aaron asked. His voice was steady, though his eyes scanned the horizon for danger. Mara tightened her grip on the alien guide's arm. "Ready," she said. The others nodded, their expressions a mix of determination and exhaustion. They had faced impossible odds, survived collapsing tunnels, molten chasms, and predators that no other species could withstand. Yet they moved forward, guided by human ingenuity and courage. Dax checked the equipment one last time. Everything functioning, shields, scanners, weapons, tools, all good. "Good," Aaron said. "Then let's finish this." The group advanced cautiously. The terrain became more rugged, with jagged rocks and twisted vegetation stretching toward the sky. Strange creatures scuttled in the shadows, watching, but kept their distance. Xylon Prime had already tested them, and learned that these humans were not easy prey. After an hour of careful movement, they reached a hidden canyon. The entrance was partially obscured by enormous vines and rock formations, blending seamlessly with the surroundings. Mara paused, scanning for traps. "This is it," she whispered. "The survivors should be inside." Aaron nodded. "Stay alert. The planet may have more tricks for us." They entered the canyon, stepping carefully over roots and rocks. The air grew warmer and faint noises echoed from deeper within, whispers of life, weak but unmistakable. The rescued aliens moved closer together, guided by human presence and courage. Suddenly, the ground trembled. Rocks shifted, and a low, menacing growl echoed through the canyon walls. From the shadows, massive predators emerged, faster and more intelligent than any they had seen before. Their eyes glowed, reflecting both hunger and awareness. "Positions," Aaron shouted. "Protect the rescued aliens and move forward." The humans reacted instantly. Mara and Dax fired high-frequency pulses, disorienting some of the creatures. Lyra used portable shields to block attacks, creating safe corridors. The aliens followed closely, trusting the humans completely. Aaron observed the creatures' movements. They were smart, coordinated, and relentless. But humans had an advantage the planet could not predict: creativity, intuition, and the ability to adapt instantly to changing conditions. "Lead them into the narrow passage," Aaron ordered. "The creatures are too large to follow closely. Use the environment." Step by step, The humans guided the predators into natural choke points, using rocks, vines, and energy fields to slow them down. They moved quickly, efficiently, and without hesitation. The predators roared in frustration, unable to understand the humans' strategy. At last, they reached the inner chambers where the remaining survivors were hiding. The aliens were weak, their energy nearly depleted, but their eyes lit up at the sight of the humans. Hope long lost had returned. Aaron stepped forward. "We're here to help. Follow us and we'll get you out of here safely." The survivors hesitated, but Mara's calm presence reassured them. Step by step, they began the journey back toward the surface. The humans led the way, navigating hazards, clearing obstacles, and protecting the group from predators that still lurked nearby. As they neared the exit, the planet itself seemed to resist their progress. The ground shifted, fissures opened, and strange energy pulses radiated from the canyon walls. The humans adapted, using portable equipment to stabilize surfaces and create safe paths. One of the older survivors gasped. "The planet, it tests everything. It wants to see if we can survive." Aaron nodded. "And humans always survive. That's what makes us different. Observation, adaptation, teamwork, that's how we overcome impossible odds." The final challenge came as they reached the canyon's mouth. A massive predator, larger and faster than any they had encountered, blocked the path. Its eyes glowed with intelligence, as if understanding the humans' movements. Aaron assessed the situation quickly. "Mara, Lyra, flank it from the sides. Dax, prepare a net trap. We'll use the terrain to our advantage." The humans moved with precision. Mara and Lyra distracted the creature, drawing its attention while Dax set the net. Aaron guided the rescued aliens to safety. When the predator lunged, it was caught in the trap, struggling but contained. Breathing heavily, the humans regrouped. "Everyone okay?" Aaron asked. The rescued aliens nodded, weak but alive. "You, humans, are incredible," one whispered. "We never thought anyone could survive here." Aaron shook his head. "We're not incredible, we're human. And humans survive where others cannot. That's what makes us unstoppable." They continued toward the open plateau, the last stretch before safety. The sky above was brighter, the storm reduced to distant flashes. The planet's energy pulses had lessened, and the predators had retreated. For the first time, the group felt a sense of relief. Finally, they reached a flat, safe area. The humans set up temporary shelters and shields. The rescued aliens gathered together, grateful for their survival. Some fell to their knees, overwhelmed with relief and emotion. Aaron looked at his crew. They were bruised, exhausted, but unbroken. Their eyes reflected the same pride he felt. Humans had faced the deadliest planet in the galaxy and survived. They had protected those who could not defend themselves and had shown ingenuity, courage, and adaptability in the face of impossible odds. Lyra checked her scanners one last time. "The energy fields are stabilizing. The planet, it's no longer attacking, for now at least." Aaron nodded. "We've passed the tests. Xylon Prime recognizes humans are not to be underestimated." The rescued aliens looked at the humans with awe. "We owe our lives to you," one said. "We will never forget what you have done." Aaron smiled. "You don't need to thank us. Humans survive. That's all we do. We face danger, adapt, and overcome. That's what makes us who we are." As the sun rose higher, casting warm light across the plateau, Aaron reflected on the journey. Xylon Prime had been a challenge unlike any other. Its storms, predators, and shifting terrain had tested their skills, their courage, and their ingenuity. But humans had prevailed, as they always did. The rescued aliens began to recover, regaining strength and hope. Some began to share stories of their lost companions, their struggles, and their years of survival. The humans listened, learning from them and offering guidance for rebuilding and surviving in this harsh world. Aaron knew the mission was not just about survival. It was about proving a point. Humans could face the impossible, adapt to the deadliest conditions, and protect those who could not defend themselves. In the galaxy, where other species relied on technology or raw power, humans relied on their minds, their teamwork, and their unbreakable spirit. As the day wore on, Aaron contacted the Aurora, signaling for extraction and support. The humans and their rescued companions had survived Xylon Prime, but the planet itself would remain a challenge for anyone else who dared to enter. "Captain, you're a legend here already," Mara said quietly. Aaron shook his head. "Not a legend, just human. And humans always answer the call, no matter the danger. That's the truth the galaxy will learn." The rescued aliens gathered around the humans, their eyes filled with gratitude and respect. For the first time in years, they felt safe, knowing that humans had come and survived where no one else could. The Aurora descended, its engines humming softly. The humans and aliens boarded, leaving the Death World behind. As they rose into the sky, Xylon Prime stretched below them, wild, dangerous, and alive. But the humans had conquered it, not with brute force alone, but with intelligence, courage, and the unwavering will to survive. Aaron looked out the viewport, the planet receding into the distance. "We've done it," he said. "Not just for us, but for everyone who thought humans could be stopped. The galaxy will know humans survive, humans adapt, humans protect what is worth protecting. And no world, no matter how deadly, can defeat that." The rescued aliens looked at the humans with awe. Their words were simple, but their meaning was profound. "You are our hope," Aaron nodded, "and we'll keep being that hope. Humans don't give up. We answer the call always." As the Aurora jumped to hyperspace, leaving Xylon Prime behind, a sense of triumph filled the ship. The humans had survived the impossible, protected the helpless, and proven once again why they were considered unstoppable. The galaxy would remember this day. And humans, as always, would continue to face danger, adapt, and overcome. Xylon Prime had been a test. Humans had passed, and their legacy would endure.